Hey guys, it is Chad from the Battle Warrior Podcast, and I'm thanking you guys for downloading this brand new episode today. Hey guys, the Battle Warrior Podcast is sponsored by Battle Warrior Brands. Go visit www.battle-warrior-brands.com to go visit. Thank you very much for this recent episode, and this episode starts now. Hey guys, welcome to the Battle Warrior Podcast. I have the pristine honor of allowing Lady J on the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited that you agreed for me to be a guest.
I'm going through all your notes here, and guys, obviously this is the audio file, but you fit perfect for this show. So I'm not going to sit here and allow it. So I want you to bring out the story, what you just sent me in the notes here. But yeah, ideally, like the Battle Warrior show is about people that went through a lot of stuff, became a warrior, and overachieved it. So I see the whole allotment here. So I don't want to say let's tell my guests exactly, not exactly, but just tell my guests briefly how you became Lady J and how everything, all the trauma and everything just became the person you are right now.
As you stated, I have gone through a lot. A lot of people tell me my story is unique in the sense that I've been through just about a little bit of everything versus, battling one or two things. So, from childhood on up, I've experienced molestation. I've been kidnapped and raped. I've been raped several times. I've been addicted to prescription drugs. I've been homeless. I was a fatherless child, a motherless child, abortion, domestic abuse, suffered a ruptured brain aneurysm. The list just goes on and on, on and on and on. And I've had to learn how to be consistent in overcoming different types of trauma. And it's almost like you can't really get the full effect of healing before here comes something else. And then, as a mother now myself, I've had to deal with other things that were traumatic for me, but not necessarily were directly, the trauma wasn't directly, affecting me in the sense that, I have a child now that is, has been diagnosed with cryptogenic epilepsy. So that's been a definite ride while I was in rehab from the brain aneurysm. So just a host of things that I could, go on and on about overcoming those different types of trauma. So all of that shaped my character. It shaped my ability to be as resilient as I am. And I hate really even talking about it in that sense, because a lot of people wear strength like a badge of honor. And I'm not, I hate when people say, oh my God, you're so strong. And I'm like, no, like, you just don't know. I am weak. Have been torn into a 1,000 pieces, but I always tell people it's always been God that has carried me, because when I had nobody, I had no parents, nobody to show me anything, he was the one that was keeping me. I don't know how I made it to this point. I tried committing suicide 4 times as a teenager and once as a young adult. So I have been able to get through all of that for what he's purposed me to do, and I consider myself a Moses, if you will. I'm one of the they say many are called, but few are chosen. And I say that because some of us don't have the option to say no or walk away, just as Moses did. And Moses had every excuse in the Bible as to why he couldn't do the assignment that God wanted him to do. And so did I. It just didn't work out for me trying to check out. So every time I threw in the towel, he threw it right back. So, so that's why I'm here today. And that's why I have learned how to use I'll say the gifts that have come out of the lessons and the breaking, unfortunately, have to be broken in order to gain the tools and resources needed so God can use us to help other people. And so that's why I work with a lot of at-risk youth, teaching them how to, not just I don't want to say cope, because that should never be the end result, but not just learn how to cope while they're in transition through trauma, but how to really overcome it and live and use that as a part of your story, understanding that now you have a hold of it and it doesn't have a hold of you. So, and now everything I do in business as well, everything I do, it has to help somebody else in some shape, form, or fashion. So
Yeah. And I'm staring at your shirt because I'm sitting there going, I'm like, the only thing that my mind goes to is the faith portion of it, because obviously my story is a little bit not, you're a little bit more in depth with your story, but like mine involved a lot of addiction. And what's happening is the things that, the funny answer, how I'm going to word it this way, but like the things that I teased, I was always bullying against and all that stuff growing up, is the things that I'm actually helping with now. So it's actually quite funny how he takes you through the journey and stuff when it goes to that route. But you said you were like the Moses side of it. I'm like, especially with the Bible studies a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, I became more of that shepherd. And it's not so much that, like, my light went off when I heard that, because obviously, I mean, there's like 6 of them that are very successful, went through a very long journey, and ended up being a big key factor with that. So, yeah, especially with mine, because like I do, I have some degrees and stuff, but I'm more in the grunt work type atmosphere. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what's my role? What's this? And I'm sure you ask that too all the time, in the morning, whatever. It's like, what's my role? Well, obviously he doesn't take the perfect ones. I don't want to say it that way, but
always, he doesn't. No, they make the people he chooses, or not the people that he chooses. And it's funny you said that, because a lot of people think, well, man, what kind of guy would allow a kid to go through that? What kind of guy would allow a good person to go through that? But it's like, who is going to be able to teach someone else how to, deal with let's say, drug addiction, if you've never been addicted to drugs? If he's never taken you through something to make you think that, hey, this is going to solve my problem, and so allow you the experience, and then you seek him as someone who can deliver you. If you've never been in a situation, that you won't know him as a deliverer, and then you can't share that news with somebody else. And that's what that's what he revealed to me, early on. I'm 38 now. I've gone through a lifetime full of, issues. I've made a lifetime full of mistakes. As a individual, as a mom, as a, business owner, or whatever the case may be. But if you've never experienced that, you don't really know. I have a degree in psychology and business management, but life has taught me some things that they can't teach, that, books can't teach you. So those lessons, I will say, are the things that we go through. We have to realize that, one, it's temporary. Two, it's not just for you. It's to be used as a tool. So.
Yeah, and I want to call it resiliency. I don't want to focus on that word, but it's like the people, like me and you can go approach someone, and we know before even get to that someone went through something. Like, just because like they will just know just by how you're approaching them that you went through something.
Right.
And I'm starting to feel that gift now, because I'm not gonna bring up names or anything near me, but it's like, there's some struggles in my circle, we'll just say it that way. And I'm like, this is what's going on, this is what's going on that end of it, and I'm like, they need to hit rock bottom.
Takes that sometimes.
Yeah. And it's sad to say it that way, but it's like, you're not gonna rely on him unless you're finally done. Not on the death side of it, but just in general.
Right. Absolutely.
So Yeah, and this is, like listeners, guys, this is actually a very serious subject when it comes to this stuff. Even though we can sit here and joke and laugh and all that stuff, it's very. The saying I brought up Friday at work was, God and glue have a G in it, and they both put you back together.
Oh, I like that. I haven't heard that one before.
And
I really like that.
yeah, and I have these, we call them God drops or bombs or whatever, but like all of a sudden these random thoughts pop in. I'm like, where the hell that come from? But
Uh,
go ahead.
no, I was going to say, you talk about God and glue. I always tell people our life is like brownie mix. Our life is our life is like brownie. We're the brownie mix. And this is something that I use in my life support sessions when I'm doing interactive sessions with the young people or with families. And it's like, when you go to the store and you get a box of brownies, it has a purpose when you pick it up, but it hasn't reached its full potential. It hasn't reached its purpose until you have done some things to it. So, the brownie mix itself is you. And until you've added the eggs, which keeps it together, which holds the formation. But before that, the eggs have to be broken first, and then you add your oil and you add your water and all this, and each ingredient represents something. So I break it down. And once it's all in the bowl, it looks a hot mess. It's, you broke these shells, you got these over here, you got the eggs in here, you have it doesn't look good, what I'm saying? It looks nasty. It looks like, a bunch, somebody upchucked something in a bowl. But um but uh what you don't know is the brownie is getting ready to go to another level, in which it has to move from a bowl, which won't be able to stand the heat, into a pan. And before you can put it into that pan has to be coated with butter and flour so that it doesn't stick. And so that's when you reach that level that, okay, now this no longer has control over me, or this is not sticking to me, I've overcome this, I have control over it. But before you can get to that point, the spoon needs to come in and mix everything up. And God is the spoon. That's him working everything together for your good, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, and everything. And so the more he stirs, the better it starts to look, the better it starts to smell. And then before you put it in the pan, you can even take your finger and taste it a little bit. And so, and when you put it in the pan, well, before you put it in the pan, you might want to add some M&Ms or some nuts or something, and all those represents our different gifts and talents. And so everybody's story or everybody's journey is going to be different. Everybody's gifts and talents or lessons that are going to come out of there is going to be different. So you put it in the pan, now it has to go through the fire, and what I'm saying, now you have a little bit more stretching and pressing that you need to go through. And it gets hot in there. It takes a while for the brownies to, at least 20-25 minutes, but it's only temporary. So if you can hold out, when it comes out and you slice it up, now you're able to share a little piece of yourself with everybody, a little piece of your story with everybody. And so whoever, if you experience being abandoned and it caused you to go into, drugs or alcohol, then the people that you're assigned to, their story is gonna look similar to yours. So those are the people you're gonna be sharing your brownies with, So that is the analogy that I use when I'm talking to people and I'm teaching people about how all things work together for our good. Because we say that a lot. It's a cliche, but it's, in actuality, it is 100% fact. It's true if you allow it to. So.
Well, and the thing that I'm sitting there going, you keep talking and talking and talking. I'm like, you have to be all in. So you're like, you use all the recipe to get in there. And the thing that I'm like, you're saying, I'm like, guys, you have to realize you have to be all in on this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And and if you're not all in on him or in general or whatever the mix that's in there, and I'm going both ways how I talk this, you're not going to receive the brownies or the gift on the back end.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's so much sweeter too when you, and for those, I know just for me, I'm a believer in God, I am a Christian, but there are a lot of people who believe in different higher powers. So whatever it is that you believe in, though, too, we all have a life to live. We all have a purpose, and it's up to you to figure out what that is. And if you think that you're going to get through this life and not really experience anything, because what may break one person may to, last 5 minutes in my shoe. But there are some people who, I wouldn't last, 5 minutes in their shoes. So we have to remember that we are all going through. Pain is inevitable, but healing and being able to overcoming, that's reachable though. That's doable. It just requires your participation. So and I'm not gonna lie, like even now, shoot, I'm going through some things now. But I'm on here talking, and when you're in it, even though you've already gone through a lot of things, you have to constantly be coaching and teaching yourself and saying to yourself, okay, I can do this. You're gonna have your days or moments where you're like, you know what, nah, I can't do this. then you have to like give yourself a pep talk, like, okay, yeah, but I tried that, or if I, try to walk away or throw in the towel with everything, I'm gonna throw it right back. So I might as well just, go through it. Because really, when you have a goal or a vision in mind, whatever that may be, personal, business, or whatever, you have to go through some things in order to grow, in order to get there. And so if you go too far out, you can't go around it. So if you go too far out, you're gonna miss it. If you try to go over it, you're gonna be too high up. If you try to go under, you're gonna be too low. So you might as well just go through it. So
yeah, and today and yesterday are actually days that are stretching me a little bit. So I totally get it, because I don't want to say I was cruising, but like the spaces and recognizing when you're going through storms. It's sometimes like you get storms all right away, and then you get a little quiet period where you're like, okay, something's happening here in building. My storm started this week, and it's more of a just storm with me, like depression and stuff. Like we put all this effort into stuff and time behind the scenes and all that, and it's results based. So like when you're driven, and obviously, yes, I want to deliver his word, and I have businesses surrounded by the armor of God and all that stuff. I get that portion of it, but when your expectations a little bit different and what the results were, you kind of fight yourself a little bit. So I'm going through a little storm lately. We'll just say it that way. So it's good and bad, but I'll be completely open with it. So it's different, but I've been through a lot more worse ones. So it's one of those I could take a breather and say, okay, not breather, but like a stop and understand that I'm learning something here. So he's making me learn something. So, but no, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to end it, because all the value you gave for the last, I want to say 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm not going to stretch this out because of such a beautiful podcast.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I would like to leave everybody with this. I try to, this is how I end my show. I'm possible, which is, all about people coming on to share their stories about overcoming the seemingly impossible things. Because I feel like it's not just important for you to share your story so that other people know that they're not alone, but they get to see what could be possible, what is possible on the other side of that if you come out of that. And I just recently started a TV show, Behind the Fame, with celebrities who are sharing their stories of overcoming trauma, because a lot of people look at your name and your status and what you have, and they don't realize the things that you have to go through to get there, and they forget that you are people too, and you're still going through things. So and it's an opportunity for them not to just share their story, but to also share those tools and lessons so that other people can pick them up and take it with them along their journey. So I just tell people, after all of the hell you went through, the word through is an indication that you defeated the impossible too. New adversities will come, but overcoming them has already made you unstoppable, the favor over your life incomparable, which gives you the right to think and believe I'm possible.
Awesome. Where can everyone find you, and where can everyone find your show?
Okay. The best place to go, because I'm all over the place. The best place to go would be my website, ladyj.co. That's ladyj.co. There are links to all of my to my multimedia company, the radio station, the magazine, the TV. There's links there to Ego Entertainment Network. There's links there to Business Bangers. You can see all the different shows that I host on radio and on television. ladyj.co is the best place to go. And you can follow me on all social media there. The social media links are there. Just click on the Facebook, Instagram, all of that. And then when you get to the other websites, you can follow those on their social media pages as well. So
Awesome. Thank you very much. And what I'm going to do is we're going to get this up and rolling here actually tonight. So this show will be live tonight, and we'll get you back and get you actually coming back for part 2 here too. So
okay, awesome. If you can shoot me a link or something so I can
you will
share
have
it
a full
and
write
promote
up here. So give me about an hour here and I will have everything done for you with the full write up and links.
All righty. And if you do have any graphics for your show, can you send that to me so I can send that out as well? I have
I'm sorry.
I have a meeting here at 7. I was gonna say I have a meeting here at 7, so I'll do everything right after that.
Yeah, no, that's
When
perfectly fine. It'll probably be done, give or take, by that time. So I will shoot everything over for you.
Awesome.
Sorry,
well,
send everything over. All right.
That's okay.
Thank you very much. See ya.
Bye.